What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Greatly appreciate it. Now let's get to it. This is how I removed my 2019 BRZ stock spoiler. We got bolt, and a retainer clip, and then same thing on the opposing side, bolt, retainer clip. Let's pop open this trunk lid and show you the business. Both sides are going to be identical, so I'm going to show you the right-hand side. It's going to be the same as the left-hand side. We got two holes here. They're going to have the black covers over them, the little plugs. To remove those, just take a flathead screwdriver, and I put a little bit of electrical tape on the tip of it. That way I didn't damage any of the paint. But anyways, just avoid unnecessary damages, take precautions, so on and so forth. But anyways, once you have those two exposed, this bottom hole here is going to share the same well as the retainer clip. It's going to be right below it. That was the most tricky part, but with the proper tools, it's not a problem. So I'm going to help guide you through that. Very, very easy to do with the proper tools. Anyways, so we got the two bolts and the two nuts. The nuts are 10 millimeter, so all you have to do is to break them free. Just be careful. Use, start with a low amount of torque and then increase. Don't just go 100% right away. The bolts are connected directly to the spoiler, so if you snap one off, you might have issues with replacing it. It's just going to make it more of a headache than it needs to be since it's directly connected to the spoiler. But anyways, you can break them free, remove them entirely, the nuts off of the bolts, just because the retainer clips, while they're in place, your spoiler's not going to fall off. It holds them in really good, so don't worry about that. Once you have those removed, then you'll be able to have access to that clip, which you'll take care of after you remove the spoiler. So once those bolts are the nuts are off the bolts on both sides, you'll remove the spoiler. And to do that, all you have to do is I put the trunk lid down all the way. You can do it just lightly so it's still open, up to you. I put my elbow and arm down here, kind of like this. And then all you have to do is just pop it up. You can try just pulling it up, but I found it better just to pop it with my palm. And then it breaks free. And then you just do the same thing on whichever side you didn't start on. And that's really it. Really simple. I will give you a tip here. This bolt here on the right hand side, this exact one, has a smaller hole and it's very, very tight on it. So just be careful. I would actually recommend starting on the right hand side, the passenger side, just because that hole is so small that once you pop it up and you hear it break free, if it doesn't pull up all the way and remove for you, wiggle it a little bit. Just because that bolt might get hung up on the trunk lid itself and you don't want to keep popping and cause any damage because that's going to be metal on metal. So just be careful with that. Now the left hand side, they give you a generous amount of spacing, so you don't even have to worry about that. Once you pop it up, it should come out without a problem. And then one more pro tip for you. Once you have the nuts kind of almost removed to the end of the bolt, what you can do is just lower your trunk down a little bit, and with the spoiler attached, it should balance it out. And then you can proceed to just kind of reach under there and remove the nut. And what'll happen is that'll just cause it to, gravity will just cause it to drop right into your socket. So you don't have as high of a risk of dropping that nut into the trunk lid itself. If you do that, it's not the end of the world. You just have to get a magnet and fish it out. But that's my pro tip for you there. Now, one other thing is now you have the two retainer clips left to deal with. And the retainer clips, the top part has a tab that you push in and then you're able to get it out, but it also has one on the bottom. And I have average size hands and I could not get underneath it. So what I'd recommend is I fished through my toolbox and I found that I had this 90-degree pick. So if you have something very similar, this will do the job and make it really, really easy. And all you do is you just put it underneath and gently pull up on the bottom. And then you should be able to, with your other hand free, pull the retainer clip out without any issue. So I recommend that highly. That was the one hang up on the job. But once I sat for a minute and thought about it, then bam, it was just really easy to do. Now, if you do break it, don't freak out. It's not a big deal. You can buy those retainer clips for $2 a pop directly from Subaru. So, worst case scenario, it's very, very inexpensive to fix that issue. But there you have it. That is how you remove the stock wing 2019 BRZ. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.